Yes, but you mentioned that now you are working with two people. So Shelley and you are working together, and that was actually something I was thinking about. It sounds like you are not working at the same time. So you are splitting, or sometimes maybe, but you are split up in persons. Like you do the character 1, 5, and 6, and I do the rest. And then you have a break when she's working, and you can go to check your next cues. That's how I understood it. But is there also like working together? Like we because I was wondering if you have two people working together, two people walking together, there's a big benefit in it. But you have also two microphones, which are probably, yeah, you probably need to arrange them properly so you don't have any phasing or whatever effect, for sure. But also if you want to have it, yeah, let's say it's outside Foley or something like that, and you can hear the room reflections, but you don't want to hear them. So it's probably better
Maybe.
to do one after the
Yeah,
other, I think so.
I actually, well, I just started working here, and so I can't say much about that yet. But my experience of doing with other person has been so that we are not using two microphones. We are using only, yeah, it's only one, and we just trying to find the right kind of balance with that one microphone. And if we are using two microphones, it means that maybe it's an interior scene and we just want to have a room ambience for that. But yeah, it's also a little bit different. Like it might be so that the Foley artists are more like guiding the process, and it's more busier, of course, for Foley mixer, and it's something that the Foley artist can think about what it's going to be, and he can give the right time codes or feeds and frames for Foley mix, and let's do this next one and this next one, and same time you are also able to listen what other person is doing, which is also really important, that you are able to listen what is there, what she or he is doing, and you are able to fit yourself into that, maybe, and yet you have more time to listen what's going on there, because that's something when you are walking by yourself, you just don't have time to play back what is there before you do anything or would have been
Or
done.
how does it fit together after I've done it, or what is
Yeah,
it you
yeah.
have to probably redo? Yes, exactly.
And then it's also, it's not just checking things from the Pro Tools, it's also checking your props ready, because there is time for that during the small breaks during between takes, and so it's going to be interesting workflow, and I worked with Shelly already a couple of days for Minions. It was really nice, and it was really amazing how our feet went together really nicely, and I was pretty amazed about that. So I'm not worried about that. It's going to be great.
Yes. I remember one film where I worked with a young guy together. We did steps together, and it was a hallway scene, or like stairways, uh, like 20 people running upstairs or downstairs.
Mm,
It's very, very much better to do it with two persons than to do it alone.
mm,
Um, I think it has something to do with what's happening in the room.
mm,
If you do one person, and then you do the next person just by one artist, and you do the next person, you will not fill the room the same way as
mm,
two people are going together, and it starts
mm, mm.
growing and growing, and you feel the power. But
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting to hear that you have this time for listening, time for preparing. That's, of
yeah.
course,
That's
that's,
something what you don't have when you're working just by yourself.
yes.
And yeah, when you're working by yourself, you can, maybe there's possibility to stay it's more natural that you stay in the good workflow. But with other Foley artists, it's also it's really you are able to keep in the good workflow, but it's a little bit different just, and it's well our we have really physical work, and so working 8-9 hours per day just by yourself, it's not easy every time. So it also saves a little bit power, I hope. So yeah, but I'm not able to talk my exact experience about this yet because I haven't. Maybe when we talk about this after a couple of years, I can give you more details about how this kind of workload fits. But definitely, it's a different way to do it.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to figure out how other people are working, which is the European way, if there is a European way. Is there a French way? Is there a special Finnish way, special German or Hungarian way of doing
Yeah.
the Foley? And how is also the differences in film culture and culture, yeah, like temperament of people.
I have also always said that it's kind of you need to be open for everything all the time. It's there's some basic things you need to kind of obey or maybe not, but I feel like there is some rules, and the rest of the life you're just breaking them, and it's because all the films are different. Like you are not doing German films only. I wasn't doing Finnish films. I'm doing Finnish films from Scandinavia, from Korea, or from US or from Mexico, or and they all of them are different, and there is always different kind of directors and supervisors, and they have different goals and different aesthetics, and they don't want to sound like Hollywood. They don't want to sound like Scandinavia film. They might say it like this: I want to hear something I have never heard. So it's really hard to kind of, okay, this is how we need to do it. So that's the biggest thing, that you just need to be open for everything, for every style.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to be open for different stories, because every story kind of creates the style.
That's true.
And that's the interesting part of our work. And it can't be so. I always try to remind myself that if especially from Finland, when I was working, I was doing several tens of projects in a year. Now it's not going to be that many projects, but still it's the same, that one project can be just a project between other projects, because might be so that there's behind the film, there's a director or maybe supervisor who is working with that film 2 years, or director is working with this 10 years, and then it's coming to the sound post. We need to respect the fact that this means a lot for this person, and this might be so that he or she has been thinking about, this is going to be something he has or she has never done before, and we need to kind of remember that fact. And that's it's not easy always, but it's something I try to remind myself. Yeah.
Yeah, Heikki, thank you very much for your time. It's really, really good to hear that you made the step. Now the next step, your next step, and I wish you great time. And
Thank you.
I hope your container will arrive in
Yeah,
time.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
And I think you have good and nice colleagues.
Yeah.
And it's
but
gonna be.
but the one thing with Foley is also that sometimes we need to create something from the scratch.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, quite often. Yeah.
Thank you, and have a good time. And
Good.
let's
Thank
talk
you.
again.
Yes, we'll talk soon.
Yes. So now we stop the recording.
Yeah.